Welcome to the 611 Films YouTube channel. We're back in 99. We're starting out with some, for January of 2024, we're kind of doing this alternate reality. There's quite a few of those movies. We're going to do Being John Malkovich today. I'm your host, David Groves. And with me, as always, my co-host.
Malkovich.
That Malkovich. Which version of Malkovich are you going to be?
So this one I'm pretty pumped about because, and I don't know if you know this, but this is like my number 2 best movies I've ever seen. This is
number 2 best movies you've ever seen.
Yeah, okay. I would say next to The Shawshank Redemption, this to me is like, this is what it's all about. Like, yeah, I love, so I know what your favorite movie of 99 is, and that one's up there for me too, but this one is, I mean, when I saw this in 99, I mean, it just blew me out of the water. And I was like,
this now let me ask you this. Did you see this in the theaters? Or like,
I'm pretty sure I saw it in the theaters. I don't remember exactly, but I know I immediately, like, when it came out on, but back then, like DVD or VHS, Blockbuster Video, I was immediately like renting it again to show friends and stuff like that. So I think I had seen it like a few times, like, I want to say it came out late 99, like around Christmas time or before that. And I was all about like showing people. I was like, oh, you have to see this movie. It's amazing. And my roommate in college at the time, he was like, oh yeah, it sounds cool. So we like rented it, and there was like a group of us. And I mean, it's like all this crazy stuff is happening in like the first 30 minutes. I mean, it's just so odd and out there. And then it's like the portal to John Malkovich's brain doesn't even come into play until like 40 minutes of the movie. And everybody's just like in like this little watch party is going, oh my God, I forgot that's what this movie was about, because it's so off the rails. And then it's like, okay, here's the portal. And you're like, oh,
right.
Like I could have watched whatever the hell was going on. I mean, because John Cusack is like a puppeteer, and his wife has like a zoo in the house, and I mean, so that's just off the rails.
She does pet care and has like a ton of animals. That's a Cameron Diaz who does not look like a Cameron Diaz.
Oh yeah, and she does not look at all like the Smoke Show. You know, and then
not like The Mask, like a few years prior. No, or there's something about Mary even that was even literally and I mean, 2 years prior.
So very much not, typecast. And then like he takes a job like filing papers or something, and he's working for this quirky old guy on like the 7th and a half, like in between floors in the building.
And
So they just paint this just crazy world, and even the stuff like the dialogue, like when he kind of meets Catherine Keener and then becomes infatuated with her, and just the way they meet is just interesting. Like he's trying to guess her name, and he's like, Mary, and then she, it's just like so odd. And I was just like, however they set up this world, I'm just like, I'm in. And it's not, to me, it was, I don't know what you call it, but in the weird absurdity and humor, like I like that more so than like the movie, like the David brothers, or the guys that just did Everything Everywhere All at Once.
The Daniels.
I'm like thinking not David's. So like that kind
I can see that.
I want to love those kinds of movies because Being John Malkovich is like right in the like same ballpark, but I don't, because whereas John Malkovich had this kind of odd, creepy absurdity, like they went a little bit more like far-fetched. Like
they went far-fetched, like a lot more actiony, and I think it was a lot more character. And this is not a knock, but I would say like character driven as far as the family goes with Everything Everywhere All at Once. That was sort of that. This is, I think it is kind of that too, but I think there were bigger ideas here. Like I've seen reviews too, where it's like so many little things about Being John Malkovich could have been its own separate movie. It just kind of worked out where it's like, no. Because even the portal and getting to Malkovich's mind and the puppeteer stuff, like I definitely hadn't seen it in a while, and I rewatched it. Of course, there's also tons of other YouTube videos over the last few years about the philosophy of the movie, the existentialism, the idea of control and the brain and how all this works. And some of it just goes right over my head. but it's
Yeah.
interesting. Like I thought it was really interesting, if not like I mean truly effective for me. I don't know if it ever hit me that way. I
Yeah.
really loved other Kaufman stuff. I loved everything. About to say that Eternal Sunshine adaptation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, for
And
some
then,
reason this one didn't get me or didn't hit me, and it was their first one. I liked kind of the weirdness of it all, but I don't know. I guess I'd love to ask you, like, I mean, again, what was the thing that really resonates with you to make it like that top movie?
yeah, and I think it's a very like for very differing reasons. Like the Shawshank Redemption, for instance, had an like I just was like, whoa, like that was such a beautiful ending and just such a great story and like spoke to me, character driven, all these things, like all of those things landed. And you're right, being John Malkovich is not necessarily like, oh, like this, Academy Award winning performance where I'm just like, oh, I'm like all invested in the emotions of it. It just was, I've never seen anything like that. And I mean, until, everything everywhere all at once, you don't really see a lot of this kind of existential absurdism, kind of just
Sure.
wacky.
Yeah.
And because it was so original and so different, and I just thought it was so well written, just like the dialogue and what happens and how the characters interact and everything. That's what like spoke to me. It was just like I saw it and I was like, this is the kind of movie I would want to make. Like this is
Right.
like
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
it's like. This is just such a cool ride. So it was so in that regard. Now I haven't seen it in a few years, so I wonder if it still holds up. If I still hold it in that high regard. I just
Oh
know that
yeah.
at the time I was like, wow, So,
Well, I
um,
like that. I mean, again, we're going to be doing a few of these, and then like this alternate reality type stuff, different movies like that. This one for sure could easily be the weirdest one of all of them. But I do
mhm.
love that John Malkovich did kind of sign on for it, was a part of it. I mean, one of the funniest scenes to me was when he was kind of he went into his own mind and then saw versions of himself. I thought that
Yeah.
was
I mean
pretty wild,
I
pretty
mean
funny.
just the inventiveness of that and just
Hmm.
putting that on screen, and I'm like, and that was the whole thing too, was they were like, it was very meta, like it was in on the joke. It was like, wait a minute, you could have put like being Brad Pitt or George Clooney, and people would see
And they
that.
wanted
Why John
that. Yeah,
Malkovich?
I've read things that they
And it
wanted
was
that
sort of
idea.
like it was a joke like that, and I just saw an interview, like a brief snippet of something from John Malkovich. Apparently, this script got to his way like several years before, and he was like, "I like it, but I don't know." And then he kind of asked Charlie Kaufman, like, "Hey, what if you did this but made it a different character, like different actor?" And then, "Hey, would you write this other vehicle for me?" And then Charlie Kaufman was like,
Yeah,
"No." So like, he was like, "Nah, no, no dice." And then somehow it like
right,
ended up working out the way it did. And thank goodness too, because
right.
I mean, I don't think it would have worked with any other actor. And I mean, it's just, I just always laugh when it's like, it's my head, he's just freaking out.
Yes,
And it's like, I mean, it was just so good, and
right,
even the bit with like Charlie Sheen at the end, who's like bald and
right. Yeah, yeah.
it's just like ridiculous, but I don't know. I got a kick out of it. And it really did have this very, just weird and kind of creepy ending, like because the whole thing was that if you pass into the porthole after a certain time, you don't go into the current vessel, you go into the next born, which is
Right,
actually like, I guess, Catherine Keener's kid having sex with John Malkovich or something like that. So
right.
John Cusack is stuck in like,
And the kid's head.
and basically
Yeah,
it's like now his like the surrogate mother, Cameron Diaz, like, so now he's got to watch his ex with the girl
raise
that he
that.
wanted to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
with
exactly.
raise like a daughter, and it's like he's stuck there in like hell, and it's just like, whoa. I was just like, um very tripped out to me. So but yeah, I mean, so yeah, I was like, this is one of the movies I was excited about. I mean, I'm excited about a bunch of them, but again, I think I have like four movies from this year like in my top like 20 of like all time, and this is
Okay,
one
all
that's
right,
high
there you
up
go.
there. So I mean, this shows you
This is
why
a
we
big one.
did
This is a
this
big one.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But
All right, yeah, you'd have to see it. If you haven't seen it, I'd say definitely go and check it out. We will not do it justice. A lot of the YouTube stuff, you have to watch it for yourself. So I'd say definitely check out Being John Malkovich first, then watch other people's interpretations. There's so many different ones on YouTube as well. But hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you liked it, please click subscribe if you are into this series, and we will see you again on the next Back in '99.
Malkovich.